the African News Update on top accolade news. The headlines: Botswana President slams term extensions. Liberia's Supreme Court upholds rule of law. South Africa drops VAT hike. Kenya secures $1 billion China deal to boost development. In politics, Botswana President slams term extensions. Botswana President Duma Boko has sparked regional debate after denouncing leaders who seek to extend their presidential term limits, calling such ambitions a clear sign of failure.
I will say to you today that any president of any country who wants to be president for more than 10 years, anybody who has that ambition is instantly a failure. If you take the job seriously, you can't do it for more than 10 years. You can't. And anybody who sticks with presidency for more than 10 years, that's a surefire indication that he has failed.
Boko stated that any president wanting more than 10 years in office instantly fails to understand the job, a remark widely interpreted as a swipe at Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa, currently in his second and final term, is reportedly pushing for a controversial 3-year extension, feeling internal party rifts and public unrest. Amid plans for a constitutional amendment and strategic appeasement move like awarding residential land to MPs, tensions are breezing, with the rebel ZANU-PF faction demanding Mnangagwa's resignation over corruption and governance concerns. Still in politics, Liberia's Supreme Court upholds rule of law. Liberia's Supreme Court has delivered a landmark ruling declaring the action of the self-proclaimed Majority Bloc in the House of Representatives unconstitutional and reinstating Speaker Fonati Koffa as a legitimate presiding officer. The decision ends a months-long power struggle led by Representative Richard N. Kuhn, who attempted to unseat Koffa by holding parallel legislative session without a quorum or adherence to constitutional procedure. The court, in its final judgment, nullified all decisions made by the bloc, warning that such defiance threatened Liberia's democratic stability. Experts emphasize that any legislative session must follow the constitution, reaffirming that no political faction is above the rule of law. Shifting focus to economy, South Africa drops VAT hike. South Africa's finance ministry has scrapped plans to raise the value-added tax from May 1st, following intense opposition from political parties and divisions within the coalition government. The proposed hike, 0.5 percentage points this year and another 0.5 next year, was part of a broader revenue plan for the 2025 national budget, but faced backlash from both the African National Congress and the Democratic Alliance. VAT will remain at 15%, with the finance minister expected to present a revised appropriation and division of revenue bill in the coming weeks. The decision comes despite a projected 75 billion rand revenue shortfall, with the ministry acknowledging that while alternatives were proposed, none could immediately offset the lost revenue without risking fiscal sustainability. Still in economy, Kenya secures $1 billion China deal to boost development. Kenyan President William Ruto has signed a landmark $1 billion deal with China during a 5-day state visit aimed at deepening strategic ties and advancing Kenya's bottom-up economic transformation agenda. The agreement, announced in Beijing, will boost development in manufacturing, agriculture and tourism, sectors set to receive over $950 million in targeted investment. Ruto praised the long-standing China-Kenya partnership, citing transformative infrastructure projects like the Standard Gauge Railway and Nairobi Expressway as symbols of progress under the Belt and Road Initiative. The new deals includes $150 million for construction, $400 million in agriculture led by the Zonken Group, and a $230 million tourism push by China's Hunan Conference Exhibition Group. This marks Ruto's third visit to China since taking office and signals Kenya's strategic pivot in global economic alignments. You are watching the African News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. In conflict, UN reaffirmed support for peace in Sudan. Sudan's military leader, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, met with UN Special Envoy in Port Sudan on Wednesday, receiving a message from the UN Secretary General reaffirming the UN's commitment to supporting peace efforts in the war-torn country. The meeting, attended by Sudan's acting Foreign Ministry Under-Secretary Idris Ismail, highlighted Sudan's backing of the UN's role in resolving the conflict and facilitating humanitarian aid. Al-Burhan expressed readiness to ensure aid reaches those in need, while voicing optimism for achieving lasting peace and stability. Still in conflict, DR Congo and M23 rebels agreed to truce talks in Doha. M23 has agreed to work towards a truce with the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo during Qatar-brokered peace talk in Doha. A joint statement described the negotiations as frank and constructive, with both sides reaffirming their commitment to an immediate cessation of hostilities and a path towards lasting peace in eastern Congo. The M23, a key actor in the ongoing conflict, recently escalated its offensive, seizing the key cities of Goma and Bukavu, despite an earlier ceasefire call by Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi and Rwandan President Paul Kagame. Violations of the ceasefire have continued in North Kivu, displacing nearly 120,000 civilians to neighboring countries, according to the UN. Moving to entertainment. Inyanya responds to accusations of switching sides in Wizkid Davido beef. Afrobeat artist Inyanya has responded to the accusation of picking sides in the ongoing rivalry between Wizkid and Davido, insisting that he has no issues with either artists. The controversy erupted when Inyanya, who once collaborated with Wizkid on the hit track Sexy Mama, showed public support for Davido's music. In a post on social media, Inyanya clarified that he supports both artists equally, emphasizing that he regularly listens to and enjoys music from all his colleagues. He accused fans of feeling unnecessary conflict and agendas, stressing that artists are often the first to appreciate each other's work. Inyanya also pointed out that he has maintained good relations with all his peers, including Burna Boy. Now in sports, Samuel Eto'o faces backlash. Cameroonian football is facing a deepening crisis under the leadership of Federation President Samuel Eto'o, as the nation's referees announced a full boycott of all FECAFOOT organized competitions due to months of unpaid dues and alleged negligence. Once hailed as a reformer, Eto'o is now under mounting pressure amid accusations of centralizing power and mismanaging the sport's governance. With referees off the pitch, clubs pulling up, and unrest growing across the football community, urgent intervention is being demanded to prevent a total collapse of sports in Cameroon. That concludes our African news update for today. Stay tuned for more African news and development. Thanks for joining us. I am Ojarumi Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.